Beethoven is one of the great composers.
I've always heard his name since I was very little.
He spent most of his creative time in Vienna, but he grew up in Bonn.
I think because of some of the things that happened to him during his lifetime, you know, he was deeply in love with somebody. He also went deaf. I think he was a very emotional person, and you can often hear it in his music.
I think he was a pretty serious guy. I mean, his music covers a whole range of emotions and colors and stuff, which I think alone, says a lot about who he was as a person and composer. That
in my mind, I sort of get the idea that he was quite a character, quite cheeky.
Fairly intense looking, and he had a great stare.
He looks like quite an angry guy. You know, he's not often seen smiling.
I can imagine him sitting at the piano with like his curly grey hair and his wig.
I think he was pretty well dressed. Whether or not he had more than one suit was, I guess, up for debate. He seemed sort of disheveled and sort of, I would imagine he had, was probably pretty stinky. Don't know if he bathed very much.
I think he probably had more of a sense of humour than his music gives him credit for. I mean, people often focus on him as a very kind of serious man, but he did have quite a wicked sense of humour. I remember he used to pay his bills sometimes by writing little songs for people he owed money to.
Probably just want to ask him what his day was like, see what he did that morning. Just more of, I don't know too much about his daily routine, what he ate for breakfast, and who he hangs out with.
What I would be interested to know would be like where you come up with all those different moods and characters. They must all be in him and in his imagination.
I'm very curious who he wrote. He wrote this amazing letter to his immortal beloved, and it's sort of a mystery, so I would be curious to know who it was written for.
It's very rare to find a part in his music that you actually don't enjoy playing.
If you're a first violinist, it's often quite fun to play.
Every time I play one of the symphonies, I notice something new in it that I haven't spotted before, something he does that's unusual, out of the ordinary.
I think a lot of people listen to music of a similar style and they could sort of predict what's going to happen next, like the 4-bar phrases when the cadence is coming, and they could sort of hum the melody before it's even finished being played. And with Beethoven, it's always going to take a sharp turn right when you expect it to go where it's supposed to go.